Laura came, she saw, she dragged, and then she left. Iconic. I think Laura was the MVP of this reunion. It's very clear her main objective was to drag Sarah Ann and Jeramey, and I think Laura very much succeeded in her mission. Every opportunity it was to drag Jeramey and Sarah Ann, she took it. And Jeramey and Sarah Ann, they tried their best to come back, to attack back, but Laura's just too quick. And honestly, Sarah Ann and Jeramey just have no legs to stand on. I don't know why they thought coming for Laura was the best move for them in this reunion. It was not. In the reunion, we also saw that Laura and Sarah Ann actually did have a talk at the lake, but the producers, for some reason, didn't show it. We only saw AD coming for Sarah Ann. Laura was saying she didn't want to give Sarah Ann the attention that she wants, but it seems like Laura couldn't resist. And I was, at first I was thinking, oh, maybe, Laura is above the drama, but clearly not. She clearly wanted to, at least talk to Sarah Ann, which makes sense. But I feel like this conversation wasn't really Laura dragging Sarah Ann, the conversation that we saw them having at the lake. I feel like it was more of Laura warning Sarah Ann what she's getting into with Jeramey. And I think she took that stance because Sarah Ann, he was talking about, I did nothing wrong and blah, 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 I didn't make a commitment, blah, 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 was coming at Laura very apologetic and basically saying she knows what she did was wrong, she knows what she did was shady, but she just basically, they weren't married and she wanted to shoot her shot and see where it went. But she's just feeding Laura this bullshit like, I sent this message and I was ready to move on, but, if you guys broke up, then of course I would have been open type of thing. Like, bitch, be fucking for real. You sent that message hoping that it was going to get him back. You were doing it to meddle in a relationship. Doing that to steal Laura's man, and you were doing that. I think Laura definitely saw through that fake apology, but at this point she's done with Jeramey and, Sarah Ann can have him. So I feel like she didn't go in on it because it's kind of like, what's the point? If she calls her out on this, Sarah Ann will probably start lying and gaslighting. So, she's probably like, well, Jeramey's your problem now type of thing. Also, in that conversation, Sarah Ann, again, with the fakeness, I feel like in the conversation she was insinuating that she didn't know if Jeramey was being genuine or whether, he has told them both the same things. Like, she's worried about that. But you don't really care. You don't really care because you were just about to go on a jet ski with him and ride off into the sunset, honey. You didn't really care. But, of course, she's doing this fake concern thing so that, again, Laura can lay off her. She's very manipulative, Sarah Ann. So to go from that to now coming for Laura in the reunion, to me was just strange. Of course, she's come with this reason of, oh, well, you talking shit about me in the pods where Jeramey told me that you called me a pick-me, blah, 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 blah. Well, what else is she meant to say? Where, quite frankly, I just feel like, Sarah Ann, you have no legs to stand on because look at the behaviour. You're mad because the shoe fits, darling. Saw Jeramey and Laura were engaged and you were so desperate for Jeramey that you went begging for him. Like, is that not prime pick-me behaviour? Laura even clocked you before you even pulled the move. Like, you just didn't like Laura, period. You didn't like Laura, period. And I feel like there was animosity between them in the pod. So I feel like this is just coming out now. Now, one thing that Laura pointed out during that conversation, which I think is the key point, is that when Laura was having the talk with Sarah at the lake, she said that, be mindful that Jeramey is just about his image and his reputation. And I think for this reunion, Jeramey was hoping this was going to be a redemption for his image. But he's just such a narcissist that he just thinks that his way is the right way, even though it's going to make him look worse. So in the reunion, he is just basically so mad at Laura because he is just so adamant that Laura is making the whole him getting caught respectfully cheating thing worse than it is. I think Jeramey's whole angle is that he feels like Laura is insinuating that they slept with each other or they were physically intimate, blah, 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 blah. But even if they weren't, for me, it's still like cheating, emotionally cheating. Even if they didn't do physical stuff, at the minimum, it is emotional cheating. And that's still bad. Like, why are you seeing this girl? You have a fiance and you're meeting this girl who basically says that she wants you back. And you've coordinated with her to meet at a bar. And the bar closes at 2 a.m. and you're still with her. And then you proceed to take this closure talk to the parking lot. And then proceed to be with her till 5 a.m. in the morning. And then proceed to drop her home. And in his own words, unintentionally lie about his location. It already looks bad. At this point, it didn't matter what they did. Like, it already looks bad. So his whole thing of you're making it look worse than it is, and I'm not okay with that. So now I have a problem with you after I was the one who was disrespectful to you. It's just very narcissistic. And to me, it's very wild how Jeramey doesn't know how like crazy he looks honing in on this point. But that's the narcissist for you. Also, him wearing this Hawaiian shirt is also another sly dig at Laura. I think, again, him keeping up appearances with Sarah Ann when it's very clear that their relationship is not going to work in the long run. Again, is just another way for him to keep up his image, another way to take a dig at Laura, to be like, well, look, me and her are still happy together. What are you doing, type of thing at this reunion. I think that's the whole front he was trying to put up for his image. The relationship looks a mess, darling. Eventually, we do get some type of apology from Jeramey, which we had not seen or heard yet. But again, I feel like that was very forced. Like he knew to keep up his image, he should now apologize finally. Another thing with this whole image thing is on the episode where they all met up for the first time, Sarah Ann let slip that on the night that Jeramey was respectfully cheating out with her, he basically told her that he was going to go break up with Laura because he wanted to be with her. But then at the reunion, they both denied that's what happened. And Jeramey comes out the gate and says, oh, there's just been some miscommunication. And Sarah's going along and nodding her head. But Laura let slip that basically Sarah Ann has been caught corroborating with Jeramey's lies before. So, for instance, when they were respectfully cheating, initially Sarah Ann was lying about the whole thing, saying, oh, no, they did meet up in the parking lot. They didn't. So the same way that she's initially corroborated with that lie, I think, obviously, because, you know, she was so emotional, she let that thing slip with Jeramey. Jeramey's now found out about it and was like, bitch, you were meant to keep that secret. So now they're switching it up and saying, oh no, he never said that. So again, very wild. Sarah Ann and Jeramey are clearly on the rocks. So again, something fishy is definitely going on between Jeramey and Sarah Ann, and they can't keep up with their lies. But anyway, back to Laura. The juxtaposition between Laura being the same one and Jeramey and Sarah Ann looking crazy was also very interesting to see. I think Laura is clearly doing better than Sarah Ann and Jeramey and the appearance that they're trying to keep up. Laura even said that she's dating. Is she dating? Do you think Laura is actually dating, or do you think she just said she was dating to keep up appearances? Because people do that. And I wouldn't be mad if she did. But honestly, you know, Laura has won me over now. I do wish her the best. Sarah Ann, Jeramey, I don't really care about them, but I feel like they're going to break up soon because the foundation is giving paper mache. Let me know what you think about the whole love triangle situation.